Tevez sta solo, Tevez all'interno dell'area, fuori tutti, Tevez, si apre la porta, Tevez, gol, da dietro, Pirlo dentro,
Ciao, everybody. Welcome back to the All Juve Cast channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. But yeah, we're going to do a little fun season wrap-up, not just on the team, but also just the AJC Army and all of you. We're going to have some fun and give out some awards. They mean absolutely nothing. No prizes or anything, just pride, really. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. We got Omer, we got Lucci, we got Ant. Lou is somewhere recovering,
in a ditch. Yep.
I'm sure. Wedding season. That guy's Mr. Popular. I think he's on his 12th wedding, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
very close.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. We've got Jeremiah in here already. Child Bob's always in there. Bob has been gold with the YouTube comments as of late. Some a little graphic, but that's okay. They've been funny. Good stuff, yep. Bobby. Good stuff. Let's see what we got going on in here. Good morning from Mohammed. Next season is the last season where Allegri needs to prove himself with the summer market. Because if not, then bye-bye. Hey, we're going to get into the latest in news, too. We're going to talk Max Allegri for sure. We're going to talk coaching and all that. We'll get to all the news. We'll get to all that. We're going to have a big Storm the Barn session on this one after we get through some fun season wrap-up stuff. What do we got here? Carlo won the double and Jose won a trophy with Roma, both in their first season. Max gave us a garbage season. Worst home record, worst goal scored, no identity, no style of play, etc. Uninspiring. That's a foundation.
Good morning, Jeremiah.
Good morning. Good morning.
He ain't wrong.
He's not wrong.
Michael Lloyd, good morning. All right, everybody. Whoever's in here right out of the gate, like the video, okay? And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, your one-stop shop for everything Juventus. Without further ado, let's get to some of these. Oh, hold on a second. Coming in hot right here.
Jesus.
Joining the show out of nowhere. I like it.
And she's wearing my jersey, too. What the hell?
True. I was a little worried about when this show was starting because the combined hour of sleeps between Al and myself is about 4. So this was already a tinderbox. But now that Lex is here, I think she's going to be able to calm things down a little bit.
What do you mean? Yeah, she was on Twitter till 2 a.m., so she didn't sleep either.
So 6 hours combined in the top row.
See if she can level things out in the middle of the playing field here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's get to the season 21-22 season that was for Juventus, and we're going to talk moments, we're going to talk goals, best, worst player, all that, and then we'll get into the AJC Awards and whatnot. But let's just talk about moments, because as you know, we can even see in some of these here that there's a lot of negativity about it and everything, and it's not a season that we want to probably remember and forget about as quickly as possible and hope for Juve turning it around. They stink. They did. But they also had some moments and some solid runs throughout the season. I always said don't ask how, because the play left a lot to be desired. But we had a Champions League final yesterday. Okay. You had Real Madrid play Liverpool. Everybody was using it. Not everybody. A lot were using it as a victory for Cortomuso. Okay. I can't get behind that. All right. If Liverpool buried those chances, Cortomuso was dead in the water. All right. So they didn't. Courtois was standing on his head, did a great job. Real Madrid found the one goal. Ultimately, that's all that mattered. But there's a big difference between playing that way in a one-off final, okay, against Liverpool and being pushed back by Liverpool, as opposed to being pushed back by Venezia, Bologna, and Genoa at home, for Christ's sake, and doing it all year long. There's a big difference there, people. It is not the same thing. When I watched that game yesterday, and you even take both teams, even if you want to talk about Madrid and what they were trying to do, the players on the pitch, the groups, the way they've been together for so long, they're so good. They're so good, and they're so calm and cool and steady throughout all the moments in the matches. Real Madrid knew when to kind of start to go. Their buildup was incredible. It's just, we're not even close to being there. The level of quality all over the pitch with those teams is night and day. Trent Alexander-Arnold gets beat back post. Okay, totally lost Vinicius Jr. And Van Dijk pulled the Bonucci move. Never go full Bonucci. Okay, definitely in a Champions League final, but he's turned his ass there to that cross, and it goes back post, and Vinicius Jr. Taps it home. But outside of that, Liverpool, like, you watch the way they attack, the styles, the movement, it's there. Real Madrid, they're so good too, and just Casemiro is exceptional at his role. We have a lot of growing up to do.
Yeah.
These teams are miles ahead. We might as well be playing a different game. Juve's got to work on the roster and then keep them together and build that group together, because a lot of what we saw yesterday is just time that
Still
these
have
guys.
no idea what the
Real Madrid has how many guys with 5 trophies, 5 Champions League trophies? What do you guys see the difference there? Omer, we start with you, then we go to Lex, then Lucci, and then Ann.
The difference is obviously experience. We want all the youngsters to play, but to be honest, Modric, Benzema, Carvajal, Courtois, the older guys, the guys who've been around the block and won a couple of Champions Leagues to their name. And the other ones who are leading the charge and keeping, the faith through all the knockout stages, not just the final. And they got the toughest draw I can possibly remember. They got the assumed to be best teams in the world in City, Paris, and Chelsea, the title holders from last season, and Liverpool, and they got them all to look better, but actually lose. And that's experience. That's stuff that the young guys won't get to you. It has to be a mix between those guys. And not just youngsters, not just veterans. So that's the way I see it. Juve still, like, our leading guys still need to gain some top level experience in order to reach that level and that belief and that mentality that nothing is over till it's over. Mm-hmm. That's for me.
Yeah. Lex.
No, I completely agree with Omer. I think that if we looked at that core of that team yesterday, I don't think Marcelo played, but like looking at that core and then looking at the core of the Real Madrid team that we played in the 2017 final, there's a lot of similar players. So I thought that was pretty insane, just looking at the longevity of Real Madrid's program. And, these guys are serial winners. They have, like you said, multiple Champions League trophies to their name.
Hungry.
And so I think it's difficult to play against a team like that. And I think that the difference between a team like that and a program like that versus ours is, as Omer suggested, keeping that experience, but I think also integrating youth players within it, right? Look at the age of Vinny Jr., for example, right? Who scored the winning goal, but surrounded by those well-established, experienced players in the midfield as well. And so I think that that's what you have to look at. And I just thought it was crazy how some of those same guys that were playing against us in 2017 were winning a Champions League again in 2022. It was just crazy. But I mean, I wasn't surprised that Real Madrid won. I think that everyone knows that this is their tournament essentially. So it was a good game though.
Yeah. Lucci.
Yeah, listen, y'all are right, but let's be serious. Their midfield is about 7 miles better than ours. So it's not even comparable. The way Modric, all of them just pick a pass they're going it's way too easy. Imagine Rabiot trying to make a switch the field and make a pass like that. It's never going to happen. So when you have midfielders like that, well, you're right. Look at that core. That midfield has been the same for how many years, and they still can perform regardless their age. They're still some of the best midfielders in the game. So then you can bring on Camavinga, and you still have Valverde and all these other guys. We need a massive improvement on the midfield, and I'm sure we'll get into that later in the show. But yeah, when you have a good midfield, it really helps your overall game for sure.
Yeah, and
yeah, I still don't know why we're wasting 4 minutes on a Champions League semifinal or whatever the hell it was. Was that yesterday? I have no
Holy
idea what the hell you guys are
cranky
talking
pants.
about. I have no idea what you're I was cutting grass yesterday and
Take
trimming
it
hedges.
easy, Larry
There was a
Bird.
game yesterday. Let's just move on. I don't want to talk about these two teams. This
Easy,
is the
Birdman.
all Juve cast. I don't care
Easy,
about these two
Birdman.
teams.
We are talking about
Moving
you.
on.
We're talking about the comparison between Juve and fans'
I don't
expectation.
compare. I don't have time for that.
So the
Next.
biggest thing out of yesterday too, if Real Madrid plays Cortomuso, right, and Juve wants to play Cortomuso, okay, if you want to play Cortomuso, you got to have the guys. So Dell's saying Max's style needs experienced world-class players to work, and he's not wrong. If you look at when Liverpool pressed Madrid, our guys in those scenarios 9 times out of 10 coughed the ball up. They never were able through that press to truly make those steals to get a lot of the odd man presses and rushes against Madrid. Madrid's just too much class in there, and Juve's got to do a massive overhaul. But anyways, Champions League final doesn't go to Liverpool.
Final.
Thank Christ. I hate those guys. Today is May 29th as well. I also saw some interview with some jackoff Liverpool fans saying that Liverpool fans don't have a history of violence. You're an idiot.
Moving on.
And that's
I'm
your
not
favorite
gonna-
team.
I'm not
That's
even
your
gonna touch that
favorite
one.
team. And you come out on the air for, I think it was an ESPN show or something, and saying, oh, Liverpool doesn't have a history of violence or anything. You are an absolute imbecile, and you made yourself look so on national
Moving on.
television, apparently. Anyways, the game was delayed because these guys. Today's May 29th. Back in 1985, we know what went down, okay? Liverpool fans breached and pushed back Juve supporters into a wall. The wall collapses. 39, mostly Italian, but Juve supporters die, and 600 are injured. So, yeah, Hala Madrid yesterday. Fuck Liverpool. Always fuck Liverpool, okay? But it's Hazel. We'll never forget. And 39, rispetto. Now, without further ado, best moment for each panelist and everybody live from the 21-22 season for Juventus. We're going to kick this one off with Cranky Pants, the Birdman there. And favorite moment from 21-22.
See, this is tough because favorite moments might collide with favorite goals.
That's okay.
So, yeah. So, I think my favorite moment is probably that De Sciglio goal, the fourth goal, like how much that meant. That's going to be my favorite goal. Let me come back to that. Favorite moment was probably, I think Tech saved a penalty in that game, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
And that was either his first or second penalty save of the year. So I would say the penalty save would probably be my favorite moment of the year. Because he did 2 or 3. So it's but that was a big one. That one, I think we were tied at that point or up 1. It was a big stop. It was a big swing in that game. So the PK stop by Tech.
All right. Lucci.
I'm going to say the MDS goal was my favorite moment. Sorry, Anth, I know it's your favorite goal, but that's my favorite moment. It was a nice goal too, don't get me wrong, but the way, everyone's coming off the bench running, disaster. Like, we need to see more of that, and that's what I like.
There you go. Lex. You're muted.
Yeah, she's on mute.
She's muted.
The Roma comeback was my favorite part.
Roma comeback. Favorite moment. So that's coming up a lot. Omer, your favorite moment.
We started doing the news in January for our channel, for the AJC, and like one day in, the Vlahovic rumors got a lot of traction, and it started to seem real. And that was probably the best moment of this season for me, because I didn't see us doing it. I couldn't believe we would do it in January. And when Vlahovic signed, that was my best moment of the season.
Nice.
That's a good one, man.
Fair point.
Yeah, it was. It was and then Jeremiah's bringing it in. Could be one of them as well.
Yeah.
DV7 and Zach both scoring their first goal, same match. Whatnot. That was awesome. I love the Locatelli winner against Torino. It was giving me vibes from some other wins in the Derby della Mola. That was awesome. Nice goal. Probably up there for best goal candidate as well. But the DV7 signing and then the goal, his Yeah, we'll talk about that one in goals too. Maybe we'll get to goals right now since some of them tie in. Omer, let's kick it off with you on best goals, and everybody else live, best goals.
I won't take everyone's because some of them are probably going to be the same way. So the first one is Dušan's first goal. First of all, because it was a beautiful play. Dybala with the ball over the top. Dušan sprints and chips the keeper from like the edge of the area. Beautiful pattern of play. We didn't have many of those during the season. And I'll throw in the Chiesa goal against Chelsea.
God damn it, Omer.
I thought you were going for Roma.
Carry on.
Yeah, so those are the two goals that I felt like, yes, something has kicked in, something has changed with the team. The only 2 moments of the season. So
Omer's taking 2 and saying deal with it, everybody. Lex?
you said goals. I assumed you meant at least 2.
It's all good.
I probably have to say the Vlahovic debut goal, just because of the pass from Dybala, and it was like got to see them kind of link up for a goal. And then I think Lorenzo mentioned the Dybala goal against Roma, so that would probably be another favorite. I believe that was that a pass across from Chiesa?
I believe
Yes,
so.
it was.
Yeah. So another one where we got to see one of my fave duos link up for a goal. So yeah, those
For
two.
the last
There
time
you
ever.
go. Lucci?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Chiesa goal against Chelsea since my boy Berna was involved in that great goal. But the other ones, leave my boy Berna alone.
Who?
All right,
Well, you were doing the
You
same
left
thing to
him alone.
Dybala. Come on, man. We're done. We're done with Berna.
whatever.
Let's go to Napoli.
Good. I hope he plays well. The Bonucci 2 goals on his birthday was pretty iconic as well. Didn't he score two goals on his birthday? Yeah. And we ended up winning that one. So good for him. I hope he has a good season next year. He's going to be captain, so he's a lot of pressure on him for sure.
Nice. And
I'm just going through the goal video right now, and there was a couple there. The one that when you see it and you kind of remember what happened, like the moment, it was De Ligt scoring the winner against Spezia. That one was because I think it was a 3-2 win or a 2-1 win. That was another comeback when we were down 2-1 in that one. I think it was 2-1 or 3-2. So that one was I know it was against Spezia, but it was still Spezia or Udinese, one of the two. So there was that one, but definitely the De Sciglio goal for me was the one where I probably lost the most, close with that Chiesa one against Chelsea.
yeah.
So,
Chiesa, Chelsea.
Two
up
big
there,
ones that almost
Dybala,
ruined the living
Roma.
room.
Dybala also had another one earlier in the year. It was like Locatelli, the little one-touch passing. He just hammers this thing. It's a nice volley. He had another volley, I think, in Champions League that was pretty sweet too. So he had a bunch.
I wanna throw in another one. Remember the first one with Ronaldo, Chiesa, and Dybala, like in preseason against Atalanta.
Yep.
And
Ronaldo
left. I thought that was a beautiful goal.
Yeah. I remember seeing
Like,
videos
I felt
after,
that-
like best attacking front three in the world this season, and then it's like,
little did we know.
little did we know.
Oh man, how that
That's a good
played
one
out.
though. Yeah.
What about the Quadrado corner kick? Does that not count?
Yeah.
Against
I
Genoa?
hate it. It made him.
That
Berna
Berna outside of the Buddha assist against Malmo, that was actually pretty sweet too.
That
Yeah.
was nice.
I thought about it, but
Not bad.
How many
Not
PKs
bad.
did Bonucci
The
score this year?
Olympico,
I'm
did
just watching
anybody
this
talk
video.
about the Olympico from Quad?
I just mentioned
I
it.
think he just mentioned Omer just
Oh,
mentioned
okay. I got this thing with just just not paying attention to what Lucci says. Sometimes life's better that way, but that's okay.
True.
We're most improved player. We're starting this one with Lucci. Most improved.
Oh, Jesus.
Do it.
What are my options, man? Honestly, I think
Bentancur don't count.
I think Berna had a better season than the year before. Like he started very well and then kind of died off after his injury.
He did, yeah. It's true.
I guess I'm
is
going
that the
Berna.
question? Like who? Wait, is
Like,
that the
most
question?
improved
Like
is
who
Berna for
had
you?
the most improved?
Yeah,
Since
I guess
last
I'm going
season?
Berna. Yeah, give him one
Okay.
last shout.
Okay. You're just gonna die on that hill with that guy. That's cool. Ant.
Oh, by the way, get your Storm the Barn questions in, or just any questions. We're going to start saving them here. I know there was one. Al, you just marked it for later, which is actually going to be a good one. Getting back to the question, most improved. Jeez.
It's a tough one.
I want to say Rabiot because I'm gonna go with Rabiot only because listen, he was consistently consistent,
Bad.
and he was always available. You can't. He was never injured. He was always there. He was always available. Sometimes he wasn't even there when he was there. I get that. But I thought the second half of his season was better than the first half of the season, even though Berna had a great first half of the season and absolutely disappeared in the second half, but that's injury. I would say Rabiot because of his somewhat incline over the year. It's kind of not very big, but I'd go with Rabiot.
He was barely alive the whole year.
But it kind of blipped a little. There you go.
All right. So we got Bernardeschi, we got Rabiot, and now we get to Lex, most improved player for you.
This is a tough one because, well, he was
Let's do it,
injured
Lex.
all of last season. I mean, I think I don't know if there was a lot of players that saw huge improvements this season, but I mean, maybe McKennie, I guess I would throw in. Although I think he also had a good season last season, which I think sometimes people forget about, but like he also just continued that growth this season. I think up until his injury, he was really, really solid for us. So yeah, it would be say McKennie.
Okay. That's fair.
All right. Omer.
She took mine. I wanted to say McKennie. Can throw Rugani in there, but I think I'll choose Tech. The way he started the season and how he balanced out afterwards, and like kept the same momentum for all the season. So Tech for me.
Okay.
Good one too.
So what do we got? McKennie, Tech, Rabiot, and Bernardeschi. Got to give some love to Rugani. And it's to go with Rugani as most improved. Like that guy, I was always absolutely pissed to see that guy's name on a sheet, regardless of who we were playing, because you knew he was going to play terrified. And you could see his legs shaking every time the ball got near him or whatever, and he'd have to step in there and play defense. Not the case this season. Actually did a great job every time he was in there. I can only think of the one that I don't even really fault him for on that one PK that he gave up. That was, I didn't really put too much on him. I think Rugani was fantastic actually this year. So I'm going to go with him on most improved, especially when you look at just the body of work, like from then till this season, it was night and day with Rugani. Like, I guess all those guys kind of improved, but McKennie had a really strong first half of the year last year under Pirlo. And then after that hip thing, he kind of faded. But like his strongest last year, I felt was not much improved with his strongest this season. It was still pretty close. Like there's a good midfielder in there, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Rugani for me is like, Jesus, we went from a guy who was like, never play him to a guy you could actually trust this season, which was big. And even Tech with his struggles last year to this year, step up for sure. But I think the most drastic one for me was probably Rugani. Now, best player overall this season. Who was your pick for the actual best player for Juventus? And actually, you know what? Let's just do worst and best together. So worst and best. Let's start it with worst, Omar, and then give me your best. So who was our worst player?
Sandro, hands down. Hands down.
You're not going to get any arguments from me on that one.
I'm glad I was the first one here because I don't know how he has any competition. If there's any other answer available. Best one, it might be tougher to choose. Like I can say Dybala, but it ended in a bit in a sour way.
Keep it on the field. Best player in the field.
That wasn't the question. Look, I'll go with Lucatelli. Up until his injury, I just liked him. He gave us something that we're missing, and that's it. I'll leave the rest to the others.
All right.
Lex,
worst and best.
Worst, I'd probably have to agree with Alexandro. I feel like everyone might just kind of get him out as their worst player, but
not me.
yeah,
I got another one in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I would probably say Alexander for the worst, and then for the best, for me, I mean, no surprise here, but Dybala. I don't think anyone expected anything less, but I just think that he came up so many times for us, and he has scored a lot of great goals, a lot of memorable moments, assists, etc. I think even when he was kind of off his game in this last stretch of the season, given his contract negotiations and everything, I think that there's games where it seemed like he was ghosting, and then he still pulled off something for us to help us win. So, Dybala.
All right. Let's go Anth right now, worst and best before Luch.
Okay, for Sandro, I knew, and Omer and I have had these conversations. Sandro offers nothing going forward, but he does offer some sort of defensive ability. Keane offers nothing anywhere. So I know he had 3 or 4 goals this year, but for me, Keane, and it's not even close. Not even close. I know Lucci has someone else in mind. Best player, all good shouts. I think Dybala is our best player. But from start to finish, the most consistently good player for me was De Ligt. So I would give it to the big man at the back. He had a couple bad games, and they were bad, and they were in big games. I get that, but through the whole season, I would go with De Ligt.
All right,
fair.
Luch.
Well, where's RB Comps, my man? He knows me too well. It's 100% Artur because the guy is absolutely useless. 100%. Yes, Sandro sucks. You're not wrong, Omer, and I would agree with you, but let's switch it up a bit. Artur does nothing offensively, makes 5-foot passes backwards, sideways, and that's about it. Doesn't run, doesn't tackle, doesn't slide tackle, doesn't. Okay, thanks for coming out. See ya. Next, De Ligt's a good shout. I agree, but I'm gonna give it to Chiellini. He may not have played a lot, and it was last season, whatever. But when he was there, he was still one of our best players. You can see a huge difference when he's there, and we'll definitely miss that next year going forward. So hopefully someone can. It's going to be a tough shoes to fill, but hopefully De Ligt or Bonucci maybe has a better year. But Chiellini was, gotta love the guy. Gonna miss him. So that's
Danilo's an honorable mention as well, right? Danilo was just.
He's always consistent. He's always consistent.
All right. Worst for me was between Sandro and Keane for all out worst. I'd put it between those two. And fun little fact, our boy Keane, for how little he actually did play and was out there, most big chances missed on the entire team. Just woeful friggin' season for him, despite 5 goals, whatever, one of them being a winner. He could have had way more, could have contributed much more. Half the time, his touch is absolutely awful. That ball bounces off him every time, 15 feet. I swear to God. I can't believe how night and day it is with this guy from when he came from PSG there and looked like he could fit in playing as a winger, as a support player up top. Not the case for us. But Sandro for me is just useless. He is just useless. He gets roasted by guys that have no business even playing in the league. And he's done. I'm done. I've been done with Sandro for years. I'll probably give. No, Keane was pretty damn bad. Keane gets the worst. Keane gets the worst for me. Best. Locatelli was probably my best halfway through the season. And then I think, honestly, it would shift, and I'd probably end up giving it to De Ligt. I do think Dybala's in there when he played. But to give it to him for an entire season, I think I'd go De Ligt, personally, on best. But those guys are all in the mix. Locatelli, yeah, first half, I thought he was absolutely huge. Now, let's get to the Ajc Awards. All right, for a strong 21-22 season. Probably way more better moments than the actual team could give us. But
true.
Best moments. We got to vote on best moments. And I think they all involve Omer. Omer had some absolute viewings.
Yeah, top 3 at least. Yep.
So he's got the forklift, the classic forklift scenario where he enters the show.
Well, let's hang on a second. Let's just go back to that one for a second. Al sleeps in. So then the rest of the team says, hey, Skanga, get out there and start the show. So I'm like, okay, let me just get out there and start the show. And then Omer from the bleachers was like, hey, we got a man down. I'm going to do what I can to jump on the show. A lot of people don't know it's behind the scenes, but he's like, I'm going to be there. Don't worry. I'll be there in like 4 minutes. So he jumps in, and maybe we should post a video later.
It still floats around on social media, and it's good. And like Omar even loved the response too, because he's like, what happened? And I'm like, it was the most dad thing ever. Like my daughter wasn't doing well. So it's like I go into her room to kind of like help her, and then she finally falls asleep, and then I fall asleep in there too. Outside of my room, no alarm, no nothing. Wake up and I'm thinking, oh my God, we missed the show. Only to wake up, join Anth, finish it, but then find out what happened after. And it's just amazing, amazing stuff. The forklift one, that was great. And then so here with Pigeon, the birds was epic. So Omar's always got the headphones on. He can't tell what's going on. He can't tell what's going on outside his window. He's got the window cracked. And these birds, it sounded like there was 100 of these damn things right there on his window ledge coming through so strong on the mic. Lucci and Luca, I think, were the other guests on at the time, and they're losing it. I'm trying to keep a straight face. I'm talking. Finally, I'm like, Omer, these goddamn birds. Only for Omar's classic reaction to lean out the window and yell, shut the fuck up. That's up there, those two. I'm trying to think of some other beauties, but those ones are just so epic.
For me, probably Joe and the Vlahovic train.
Joe and the choo-choo train.
The choo-choo train.
That was a good one, too.
That was a great
there's
one.
A hype train, he's the conductor and went choo-choo like a little child. And I think he was wearing a bathrobe at the time.
Yes.
And sunglasses. Yeah, some sunglasses.
With the sunglasses, a bathrobe,
like
saying choo-choo. That's up there. I got to say, for me, it was the birds. The birds
had to be the birds.
Absolutely epic. What do you guys think?
100%.
Yeah.
I can still watch the bird video today and laugh my ass off.
That's true. I laugh hysterically every time I see it. So the birds, congratulations, Omar. You got the best.
You win absolutely
moment. Pride, the pride of the best moment from 21-22. Who was?
Thank my family, and it's actually the first time we're doing it. It's the first year we're doing it, so I'm proud to be the winner for the first time.
The inaugural winner
of the agency.
Love it.
Yes.
Who was the best shit disturber from the live chat this season? And who was the best shit disturber?
See, this is a tricky one because when Lucci's on the show, it's me. And when I'm on the show, it's Lucci.
It's true.
So I think you're just talking about
always
one of us.
I'm going to say Alex P for me. He can push some buttons. He's a good shit disturber in the bleachers.
Oh, so we should just do the individual ones. I think that would be easier.
Yeah.
So for you, it's Alex P. For me, whenever I see Lorenzo show up in the chat here, I get a bit of stomach acids because I know he's gonna anything I say, Lorenzo's just gonna throw it back in my face. So for me, and hey, Lorenzo, good human being. I think I don't know. I haven't seen any sort of police record, but for me, I'm gonna go with Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, I got good videos.
So I got Alex P. Ant's got Lorenzo and RB. Congratulations, we'll post the bird clip today on the Twitter account so that you can check it out. It's absolute gold. Lucci, who's the best shit disturber in there?
For me, that's tough. It's Alex P's a great show. You're right about that. Even Luca, though, like when Luca's in the comments and I'm on the show, he just feels like giving it to me just because I probably get him in the group chat a lot. So he feels like
and that's an understatement. Like, you're on him.
He deserves it, to be fair. And he's not in here to defend himself, so I'm going to keep this going. Luca's a pain in the butt, but we love him. And don't worry, he'll get it in the group chat later. So
there you go.
I'll leave it at that.
Lex
isn't even going to answer
shit disturber.
Yeah, I mean, those were all good choices. I don't know if I can think of anyone else that was like a consistent. I don't know. Yeah, I think Ant's right. I don't know what to answer for this. I would probably say everyone that you guys mentioned.
Dells can
No,
sometimes.
Dells is a
Oh,
beauty.
Dells can spark
He
up
can
some
sometimes
good,
rock the boat a little
Me and
bit.
Dells,
That's a good
we're on the
shout.
same
That'll be
page.
my pick then.
That's
Dells.
a good one.
I don't know.
Omar, what do
I
you
thought I
think?
got Alexa pretty good sometimes, but
Like
Mhm.
True, yeah,
Luca
you
is
did.
like the worst one. Like one of the best moments for me is the photo of Ant broadcasting alone and Luca replying, "Fuck, not this guy again."
that's a good one.
And
Yeah.
That was good.
yeah, so Luca is part of the team, so it feels like kind of a cheat to pick
Is
him.
he though? He's like an outsider.
And he's
Oh,
that crazy uncle we
easy.
bring in. Who can I choose? I don't know. Maybe Swarit. He has some little.
Swarit's firing up some.
Yeah, he has some
decent,
little jobs here and there that make me smile when people react, and there's like tons of reaction. He'd have the funniest one or the sarcastic one here and there. And Dales is a good shout too.
Yeah, Dell's a good shout. Alex P, Dells, Lorenzo getting the vote
Lorenzo.
from Ant there. Some good ones in there. Some good ones. Now, if we have to give it to the team, best shit disturber, Luca's getting a lot of shouts. I think probably Luca. Yeah.
What people don't really see here is how much of a shit disturber Lou is. Like Lou behind the scenes can really grind gears. You know, Luca's like young, like he's barely his brain is not quite formed yet. But Lou, like it's unbelievable. Some of the stuff that he comes up with.
Lou is strategic in the way he does it. He's
That's
very
the
good
best
at it.
word. He's very strategic,
Yeah.
and he will make people cry.
Yes.
So
It's good. It's good. One of the best moments from the show too, I think looking back at the moment, it was kind of almost not really a piss off, but it was like, dude, man, come on. Was when Dybala got announced that he wasn't getting the the renewal, and Raph just the man
lost it.
froze. All I could think of was that meme. The man just froze because he just sat there. I'm talking to him. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then Ant jumps in. Looking back, watching that was hysterical to me because Raph literally just had nothing to say and just froze. And I'm like, man, it's okay.
minutes.
Like, we'll be okay. We're gonna be okay. But there's another one of the, the younger guys, and they're emotional. Luca is pretty emotional, hard on the sleeve type guy, and you can read his facial expressions all show long, and you know exactly what he's gonna say and when he's gonna say it. That's the way he is. And we've got some good pictures. Maybe we'll post some of the pictures from the show, the clips. We'll do that today too for everybody to see. But Lou's a good call for shit disturber. He's just very methodical and doesn't always do it from the bleachers.
You always want Lou on your side. That's all I'm gonna say.
Never want him on the other side ever.
Lucifer. They don't call him Lucifer for nothing. Okay, sweet Lucifer. Now, if you had to give it to the best AJC Army member for 21-22 season, okay? So out of all these great audience members, you had to pick somebody as who was the best. Who do you give that to? I think Bobby's in there for dedication.
Definitely.
For me, it's Bob. Hands down. The guy is always here for every show. First in, the last out. Just dedication. And it's even beyond that, like beyond the laughter and everything. I know Al can probably tell the story better, but he heard about us from his nephew or who was it, Al?
Son.
Yeah, it was his son. Yeah.
Son. Yes, so it's kind of nice knowing we're part of his daily routine when there is a Juve match. Everyone has his own routines and stuff that he does, and we're part of Bob's routine every goddamn match. The man doesn't miss. So big shout outs to Bob. We love you. Thank you for everything, and for the likes on Twitter mostly.
Yeah. We'll put...
See, wait, hang on. Bob is here at the beginning and he's here at the end. We're not sure if he's here in the middle. So...
Oh, Ant's going to start some heat on even
Shots
this.
fired. Shots fired.
Yeah, Bob's an easy one. Bob is also in the YouTube comments for the daily videos. He's there all the time.
And I might
that's
add
tough.
like everything, like Lex's women's weeklies, Bobby's in there. All the news videos I do, he's in there. On stoppage time, he's in there. Like it's just massive. And I always sharing the content on other groups too, for us too, which is massive. So Bob, massive thank you. But really, honestly, guys are all awesome. So we appreciate all the support. Like I said, it says on the header there, thanks for 2K. We wanted to hit 1 halfway through the season. Didn't think 2 was coming by the end, but we did it. And we just thank you guys all for the content, or for just being here and enjoying all the content, liking it all. Hope you like it all. I hope. But you guys are great too. And we were picking best moments and like best shit disturbers and all that. We love it. Like it gets us fired up on here on the show and whatnot, but it's all love. Like you guys make the show so much better by stirring all that up. But Bobby, you could take this W, and maybe we'll slap something together with Striped Hearts for you as a nice little gift for the season wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of does it. We're going to get all the good stuff and those pictures, the video clips going on a tweet. So look for that on the Twitter account. Now we got some Storm the Barn stuff and then a little bit of the news that we're going to tackle. But let's go back to some of the Storm the Barn stuff. What do we got here? How does Juve finally win another Champions League trophy in this lifetime? What needs to be done to get us over the line? Most quality players are not really interested to play in Serie A. Wow. Yep. That's a tough one. It's a tough one to tackle right out of the gate.
Hey, AJC, please cure cancer. Sure.
Oh, man. So what needs to be done? Honestly, consistency. We just need to gain consistency and stability. Everywhere. If Cherubini and Arriva Bene start doing a good job, like keep that train rolling and just start from there. Got the new management in. Allegri. Let's see where the chips land next season. And then again, look at that. But player quality, we can all say we're behind. We're behind.
We're still quality. 2 summer windows away from that.
Yeah. So what needs to be done? Basically, for me, is just let's gain some consistency and stability and see what happens. But they're on the right track as far as most of their targets. Most of the targets we're hearing. And, the moves so far they've done have been good. So let's see what happens. What do you guys think? Anything to add really to that?
No, we have it's this summer. Let's see how this summer goes. I'd be interested to hear if some of the people in the chat here think we're on the wrong track. Like with the players that we're tied to, the players that should be coming in. And I don't think people really are negative on the management. But like you said, Al, like let's just let the management cover this summer. But for Champions League, we need at least this summer plus maybe 2 more to really.
Yeah, I was saying the same before we can really consider contenders there. Like let's get back to being able to be top domestically before we look at. There's a lot that has to go your way in Champions League too.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah,
like there's a lot that has to go your way. So,
and what do all the recent Champions League winners have in common? A strong midfield. We are miles behind in that category. So definitely need some signings there. Or you hope some of these young guys
get past we need to get past the knockout rounds, like again that voodoo off our chest because it's been hanging around for a while, and like because it hurts the confidence from year to year. It becomes like more severe, and we fear that even more. And like I dread to see who we drop next year, and hopefully no one. You know, I almost hope we get some Bayern or something. So at least if we get eliminated, the excuses will be good because I'm tired of just watching this stuff goes on, and it kind of hurts players' legacies a bit of a shitty way for Chiellini to end his career at Juve after he had massive success and a lot of memorable moments in Champions League. And that is sort of the character building that the team needs right now for all the young players. Go out far and gain those moments, just become better players. It helps to everyone. And you saw how Real Madrid, who have more experienced players, knocked Liverpool out of the park with just calm and consume type of approach. And we can't do that. We couldn't do that against Venezia and Salernitana this season.
Yeah.
I think to add to that, and it sounds bad, but a third place finish in the group stage next year, and then a good run in Europa League, not to the final, but you know what I mean? Like a good to kind of get that monkey off your back in like knockout stages in Europe. I think that would be beneficial. Not to say because it's hard. Like you want to go deep in Champions League, but like Omer just said, like you got to get that monkey off your back. And I think it wouldn't hurt to finish third and then kind of progress a little bit in Europe just to get that feeling of European play, like bigger games. And then I think a lot of the younger players need that because they don't have that yet. All those players who've had all that European experience, they're going to all be gone soon.
Yeah, it happened to Chelsea.
Why don't we just play in the Conference League then, Anth?
Oh, come on.
Well, that's why we were talking about this earlier when, the Birdman flipped out. But this is the comparison with those teams that are making the deep runs in Juve. Keep your core together, get your spine settled, and get the experience up. And that chemistry just continues to build and everything. But, yeah, I mean, trust the process. A lot of luck from Dells. Yeah, you do need a lot of luck. Swarit brings up a good point, too. To me, this new training staff might be one of the biggest signings this summer because something's got to change. The amount of injuries this team goes through and muscular and whatnot, like really, really question their methods and what's going on when you see that many. That for him to say, Swarit to say, like those injuries derailed our campaign, he's not wrong. He's not wrong whatsoever. A lot of the time we're looking at our lineups and sure, those guys should have done better, but let's be honest, we didn't see our best for nearly enough of the season to really gauge, right? So it's tough to say. Let's get to this one, and we're going to start this one with Lex. I love a good hypothetical. Here's a hypothetical from Dino. Ronaldo wants to come back. Should we take him? This is an easy no for me, but Lex.
No, yeah. Also an easy no for me as well. I mean, it's a funny question. I saw it pop up on the timeline this morning as well when I was on Twitter. And just no, because I think that would just be going backwards. I think that we need to just build off of this core and this foundation players like Vlahovic, Chiesa, Locatelli, De Ligt, our core guys, and go from there. I think that the whole Ronaldo saga is a whole debate between did he kind of delay our rebuild? Did he save our team? Like it's just both sides, right? So, but I just know. I don't think that would be stepping backwards.
All right. Anth?
Oh, yeah. But not at the salary he made before. That would affect other signings, but oh yeah. What are we even talking about here? Of course. Yes.
Lucci.
Hell no. Forget it. But he's finished. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna pay him $30 million. What are you, nuts?
Not at that salary.
You
but
nuts? Go back to bed.
Omar.
Are we a fucking retirement home?
There it is.
Seriously, Ronaldo back after all we've been through, and now we know what in his first time around we didn't know. He was younger and he did have his great moments, and I'm thankful for what he's done. But come on, I can't entertain that question. That's a hard no. That's like a mile back.
Yes.
2 thumbs up from
Tomorrow morning, Juventus and Dybala have a change of heart. Do you want to keep Dybala?
100% yes.
100% yes. Anthony, yeah.
Me and Lex.
No.
I say no.
No,
I'm done.
I'm over that
time to change.
Emotional roller coaster again.
It's okay, Anthony. It's all right.
No,
Lex, these guys are crazy.
I've already made my peace with it. I can't change my mind now.
Lower salary.
Oh yeah, for sure.
6 mil. Yeah. 6 mil. Change your minds, Omar? Luch?
No.
I would even bake him like a welcome back kid.
So you're going to find for 6 mil.
You can sign SMS for 6 mil. A
After
salary.
you spend 70.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Less injury prone, better player, need a midfielder.
Better player.
100% better
Less
player.
injury prone, but he hasn't played for Juve yet.
A little debatable.
Well,
this is where the injuries
this new
happen.
training staff, hopefully that helps him.
I'm just trying to stir it up.
He's never had a large injury at
Lazio. We got to stir things up a bit. Now let's go. 6 million. Omar, would you say yes? Even though you've come to terms?
Absolutely not.
Omer gets it. Smart man.
I'm kind of.
I tell you why. I'll tell you why. The reason, let's say, Liverpool made it to the final yesterday is because Mohamed Salah played 70 games this season. 70 games. That's more minutes than any other athlete around the world, NBA, everything, and he's not even in the top 5. If you want to become a European powerhouse like we used to, we need our best players available as long as we can. And Dybala is just not available for a while now when it mattered the most.
Yeah. I'm going to... Yeah, so we got 3 of us on no. Lex and Ant. Yes. Animesh comes in. Thoughts on McKennie leaving ahead of Rabiot and Artur? Can't happen, in my opinion. You can't be ahead of them leaving.
But hang on.
No, I think Artur is already out. Everyone said he packed his bags.
Yeah. The only way he's ahead of those 2 is because you're actually going to get offers for him. No one wants the other 2 at top price, right? McKennie, you can actually turn around and make a good profit. And I mentioned this the other day on Twitter, and God, Americans got really upset, but sorry. If you're making 40, 35, 40 million, you got to do it. You just have to.
What did we buy him for? Do you remember?
It was like 22, 25, something like that.
It was 22, but there was a loan fee on there on top of it. So I think it was actually like 28 or 29, somewhere
Wasn't
in
it
there.
a
Just
3
shy of
million
30,
loan?
let's say.
I thought it was a 3 million loan. That's why I said 25, but maybe you're right.
Okay, so 25 to 28 range. We're not far off, right? So 40 million. He's been with us 2 seasons, right? So 14 mil. You make about 26 mil capital on that.
Right to SMS. Done.
Yeah.
Dude, the SMS train, like, honestly, I feel like we could walk in today and be like, here's your 80 million. We'll give you 80, even though you're asking 70. Lotito will say no. I truly feel that way.
I agree. That's why I don't believe he's coming.
I truly feel like Lotito would still say no.
I agree, unfortunately.
So McKennie leaving ahead of them, despite like Rabiot will get offers, even if they're 20, like 20 mil, 25. You're making essentially right there in capital that you would in the McKennie sale for McKennie at 40. And who's the player you'd rather keep? There's going to be a team that would take Rabiot for 20 million.
Chelsea?
Like, there'll be a team that'll take him for 20 million. I'd rather go that route, push that route before McKennie going. Because ultimately, we're talking about, McKennie for 40. In the grand scheme of things, capital gain-wise, it's 20-something. It's mid-20s that you're getting in capital, which is pretty much a Rabiot move. So that would be the play all day, especially because Rabiot makes 7 million or whatever. Like, he is public enemy number 1, hands down. Hands out. But Okazak, Pogba are less durable than Rabiot. So he's got this thing where he's got this $1 million body that always fit, always this, but he's got a 10-cent head on that fucking $1 million body. And somebody put it best in one of our YouTube videos. That's exactly how he said it. I'm sorry I can't give credit because I can't remember who it was, but it's true. It's true. So
makes sure
he's
he
always
takes care
fit,
of himself.
But my God, there's a guy defensively. Ant was trying to put that with Sandro. I put that with Rabiot. Defensively, no issues with Rabiot and always fit. That's great. But that's like a rotational guy right there. Not a starter and not a 7 million a season player. That's the reality. It is a great quality and it's an underrated quality to always be fit, but more rotational. McKennie over ahead of Rabiot. Anybody want to add to this one? Omar, Lex?
No, I want to add to this one.
You get money for your better players. That's it. People will pay.
That's exactly it, Omer.
For McKennie, no one would pay it for Rabiot. But your point is valid. Rabiot sits on a big salary, came in for free. That's basically the same numbers. But obviously, you'll have less suitors.
This was a little weird for me. Weston's 23 years old. So, he is a young player.
He's a pretty young player.
right? So I don't think he's hit his ceiling yet as a midfielder. Like you look at SMS, he's 28, 29. Not to say that he's going to be that player, but
Yeah.
let's not cap McKennie off right now. You know, he's
Oh,
still got a lot of
100%
football
agree.
left in him.
Yeah.
I 100%
So-
agree.
Let's get to Lorenzo. It looks like he's not going to be a shit disturber today, but he says, will the AJC group meet to watch Chiellini at LAFC? Well, I'll tell you what. This summer tour gets announced and Juve plays Barcelona. I don't know about Chiellini at LAFC. I don't think we're going to meet to watch Chiellini at LAFC unless somebody wants to come down to Vancouver and watch the Whitecaps play him or
Are
something.
they coming to TFC, Ann?
But
I'll check.
Keep me posted.
But
Mhm.
if the summer tour is announced, I've already made the plans and the time set. Okay, if it's late July, early August, I'm going to either LA or Dallas, and you bet your ass I'm gonna have some striped hearts shit, and we're gonna have some fun. If any of the AJC crew wants to join, absolutely. But I am gonna be around for that summer tour once it gets finalized. Gotta make it happen. ADP replaces Nedved as our new vice president. Yay or nay?
Nay.
Nay from Matt?
Yeah, Del Piero is a talking head now. He's not a vice president. He's an ESPN guy. Why do I need an ESPN guy? I need a guy like Chiellini who has a business degree up there. I don't need a ESPN pundit.
Del Piero's very good at business. He's got several.
Wow.
Several very successful ones. Omer.
Don't need him.
I don't know. I guess not. Like it seems like more of a fantasy move, just something to satisfy the fans more than actually bearing any results on the team and on our season. It's hard to say because I don't exactly know what Nedved does to justify putting
Read Lou's article
there instead of him. I read it and I still don't quite get it. Okay, he talks with the players and then the board. Fine, Pinsolio can do that. I don't know. He does. What the hell he does? Because if I know what he actually
He's literally
does, I'll know
the middleman on all of it. He's a middleman from players to management. He's a middleman from management to Agnelli. Like he's like literally middleman. And part of it too, and this is the part with ADP, if he were to come in, is that I feel like ADP's got more of a draw for players and respect, like around league. Not that Nedved doesn't and whatnot, but ADP's like got this hold and this perception around world football globally that I think would have an impact on younger guys and stuff and bringing that talent into Juventus. As far as that touch with the locker room, ADP 1000% would get. Not that Nedved doesn't. I don't have a problem with Pavel Nedved. People have to, like, number one, I'll say that right now, I don't have an issue with Pavel Nedved whatsoever. But ADP, I could totally see it. Yeah. But there's no need to really do that at this point. But I could see it.
Look, the issue is everyone wants that scenario of a veteran player, a club legend coming back and rescuing everyone, and you kind of get kind of feel good when Maldini does it for Milan, or Zidane did it, or now Xavi at Barcelona. Doesn't work, and you start hating a player you once loved. And we give Nedved tons of credit. I'll say it in our defense.
Lex, you were gonna speak to this ADP? You're muted.
Again? Oh man.
Raph.
All right. So anyways, I was just gonna say I think I would like to have him back. I think, like you said though, I think it might be more of a fantasy move or dream, but I think, like you said, just the way that he carries our club's name, and I think he has some unfinished business at the club. Like I'd like to see him back involved in some regard. Although, like Omer mentioned, they always run the risk of that kind of letting them take a hit at their legacy, right? Because then you start to separate who you loved as a player from what they're doing right now. But it would be nice if he came back and brought us a Champions League or something.
Yeah.
True.
Let's get to this one. This has been one massive topic for like a week and a half now, a couple weeks. Would you sacrifice De Ligt now, gain a massive capital, 125 million? So the capital on that would be around 80 something million. Instead of potentially losing him for a significantly lower price, 80 million in a couple of years, which would then be around just shy of 60 million capital. So there's a difference of 20 mil capital despite 80 to 125. There's something that's kind of in the air on this whole De Ligt report that nobody's quite sure of. And what it is because his release clause naturally comes down to 120 or some whatever in that range. He's looking to extend for one more season on the contract, taking them from 2024 to 2025. Nobody knows if the 80 million is only for that last season that he's extending or if it kicks in immediately at 80 million. So that's the part that's kind of unknown right now. If it goes to 80 million, like immediately, and he's pushing for that or whatnot, then I just make a move and sell him. You're not going to get 125 million because everybody knows the circumstances out there, but you get good money. I would work on selling him immediately if that was the case and that was what he was pushing for, 80 million immediate. I don't run the risk of going into a final year. You can't run the risk of going into a final year with a guy like De Ligt. Okay. That's one you absolutely cannot risk getting like a hit to the capital or nothing on. So yeah, I don't know. This extension thing's very, very weird. I can totally see it from De Ligt's point because the project's been unstable. So I could see it. He's setting up his escape route should he need to. And it's up to the team and it's up to us. Like, we can't be pissed at him. We got to look at ourselves and say, hey, we got to get our shit together, because it's not just going to affect De Ligt. It's already starting to affect outside players coming in to Juventus. So we have to be serious about that. But this whole thing, if it were you in this situation and you have to work something out with De Ligt now, what do you do? Let's take the 80 million. That's the unknown that we don't really know. If it's at the end of the term, I have no problem. Extend it, go to 80 million for his last year. But by all means, I probably don't get to that point before making a move. I hate the release clauses in general because your leverage as a club is completely gone. That player wants to go to that team and they come in and pay that. Here's your check. We're out and we're taking them. I hate release clauses. If he wants to put an 80 million euro one, people are talking about his value dropping. It's not dropping anytime soon.
I don't see that either.
Like, it's not dropping anytime soon. This kid is 23 years old, for Christ's sake. He's about to hit prime years. To lose him at 80 million, not a chance. Not a chance. Even if it's 2 years, we're talking 2 years down the road for 80 million. No way he drops beyond that. So what do you guys think on this whole De Ligt thing?
I'll just say, if we lose De Ligt now, our back line is screwed for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
We don't have any viable replacement for De Ligt right now. You know, unless Bremer changes his mind, but I think that's already, someone like that, someone who can sort of slide in. This whole project is derailed if we lose De Ligt now for any price tag, because I don't think he can use that money to buy anybody to replace him.
I agree. And then with Chiellini on his way out now, this is the reason why we got De Ligt, essentially, right? So I think that this would be like the worst possible time to lose him. We're in that transition in our defense, and I think like you said, we need him. I see him as one of those like core players that we're building on. So
yeah.
Yes, but the problem is, if he's already thinking of his escape route out and lowering his release clause, that means he's already thinking about leaving. So either you wait a little while and take less money, or you take as much as you can now and move him. Like, obviously,
then don't complain next year when we concede 3 goals a game.
Listen, I'm not saying I want him gone, but you also
I'm just saying in general.
Well, be
No,
quiet.
you do bring a good point, Lucci.
I'm talking. Be quiet. You got to get as much as you can for him, as much as no one wants him to leave. He's only going to get better. He's still young. Yes, you're all right. But do you really want to lose him for 80 instead? Instead you can get over 100 for him. Then you can buy easily 2-3 players with all that money. You got Milinkovic, you got maybe Bastoni's available. There's options. Obviously, they're not De Ligt quality, but I don't know. It's something you got to consider. SMS again, bring in the SM.
I don't think you're buying 2 players for the money. You get one wicked player. Like if you want, dump a bunch of Milinkovic from it.
Right. But you can still sign Milinkovic and SMS with that 100 mil, 110 mil, whatever it may be. Because Milinkovic will be relatively cheap. It's Savic where you're going to have to pay quite a bit.
Yeah, I think we're focusing solely on the money aspect. And we're talking about De Ligt living now or De Ligt living in possibly 2 years, 1 year. I want De Ligt on the pitch as much as I can. If it's him living now versus him living in 2 years, sign the contract, because then you have time to improve, to show a new direction, to make it further in the Champions League and stuff, and convince him to stay and sign a new deal. And if you lose him now, just lose him now, and look at what you're left with if you take De Ligt out of the equation right now. Sandro, Quadrado, Danilo, Bonucci, Rugani, Gatti, who's coming in. That's like becoming Dortmund. When you start selling your best players only for the value of money, you become Dortmund, the teams that's always chasing and never leading. While Marotta does crazy business at Inter and covers every position accordingly with each player who's leaving, we don't do that. Losing a player like De Ligt right now would be awful for our plans going forward, regardless of the money. Leave the money aside for a second. On a sporting level, that's a bad move for Juve.
But the money is always something important.
But you can't always buy the players you want.
Ultimately,
like right here.
If we're talking 125 million, I don't think anybody comes in and pays 125 million, period. Like they just won't do that for center back. 80 million. This was always my perception of it, was that he wanted it changed immediately to 80 million because it was already dropping going into the season. That would ruin us because we're just not prepared. We're definitely not prepared. And that's something we've all talked about here right now. We're not prepared for that. If it happens after, beyond where we can prepare, I'm fine with even an 80 million release clause, because even if it's further down the road, it means more capital from the prorated, because it's another season he spent with us that comes off of that. So it's still a good capital gain. But the thing is, it's still, no matter any way you slice it, it's up to us to make the situation one where De Ligt wants to stay. So pressure is on Cherubini and Arriva Bene to get things right and continue to hit. What do you hear all the top journalists right now saying, circulating around Juventus? They have such little margin for error right now. It is crucial. This window, even I think it was Swarit that said earlier, like nobody can overstate how crucial this Mercato right now is for Juventus. Dells brings up this question now, saying, taking this De Ligt situation into account, are Juve now a stepping stone club?
That's what I said. You become Dortmund.
Are we, though?
We might, if we keep that trend of looking at the financial aspect instead of the sporting one. We're not yet. Of course, not yet. No, he's our best defender, and we should keep him, period. Otherwise, we are.
Here's the difference. I don't think we are. And the reason is because that's not our objective. It's not our goal. It might happen with De Ligt, but when's the last time Juve went out and grabbed a kid like De Ligt at that age, at that point? When's the last time Juve did that?
I can't think of it.
Does Pogba count?
No,
Pogba
he was
400K, man. Like he just fell on our lap and joined a wicked midfield and played. But like, when's the last time Juve went out after a golden boy and spent that much money? This is one of the risks in a De Ligt scenario, because like I said, he's still 23 years old. And to think in nowadays, a player sticking around for 17 years like Chiellini is probably, we said this during Chiellini's farewell, you're probably not going to see that in today's football.
Yeah.
So when's the last
Maybe for
time we
Joel.
went out and grabbed a guy like this? Is one of the risks that you run. Unfortunately, for De Ligt and Juventus, it's at a point where we're during a major transition. So I don't think we're all of a sudden turning it into a stepping stone club. We're just at a particular moment right now where we need to regain an identity, focus on a project, and build towards it. And right now, it just, they have to get the stability. 3 coaches in 3 seasons is going to piss any player off, let alone De Ligt. So it's in our own hands. No, we're not a stepping stone club. We just got to get our shit together and get some stability. That's my 2 cents, but you guys fly at her.
Lex.
I'll just say one thing. We used to get those type of players when they were ready. We weren't the one who trained them to that level. Higuain, Pjanic, Roma, and Napoli did their work, and then we bought them at their prime, and we got the finished product. And if you start selling De Ligt, then you basically become what Napoli has been for us and for the league.
Well, I don't know. Any
What
match race
happens
is a good point
if
here.
next Dushans wants to leave?
I think that holding on to a player like De Ligt, I think a lot of it rides on that player's willingness to stay loyal to the club. Like I know that we talked about, especially when you get a player like De Ligt so young, right? And so that's something that as you mentioned, when's the last time we got a player like that this young? And then it's like the fact that a player like Chiellini stayed loyal to this club, loved this club more than anything for 17 years. It's like, I feel like because of where our project's at right now, I think we're asking De Ligt to do that, but I don't know if the player is willing to do that. I think that the player is using our club for experience, and I think he selected our club because of Chiellini and because of being able to learn from those defenders. I also think De Ligt loves our club as well, but I do think that if he's no longer convinced by our project and being as a player who is probably aspiring to win the Champions League or win, you know what I mean? I think that he will move on if he's not convinced by us. So I think like Al mentioned, a lot of this also rides in the hands of the club and being able to establish, especially this summer transfer window and next season, a convincing project for him. Yeah. I think I'm kind of I'm split to the point where I think if, like you said, if we do lose him, as long as we get value for it, I think that you cut that loss. But I also do still think he's an important player to keep. And it would be nice to have another type of profile like Chiellini, loyal center back, one of the best young center backs in the world, stay with our club. I think that it would probably hurt us if we lost him for sure. But I do think it all rides on that. I think that we're asking this loyalty from a player like De Ligt that I don't know if he has that loyalty, right? And I think that he's waiting to be convinced that we have a solid project going forward.
Yeah. There's a lot of mixed feelings here. Like Jeremiah comes in saying we cannot become a powerhouse again if we keep losing our best players. It doesn't make sense. However, the perfect contradiction to that is our 9-year run there, because there was constant change. There was constant change amongst the team, and you remain. It's not like, I will always say this, Juventus will continue on regardless of the players that come and go. It's just making those right decisions. And this is a risk. This is not us turning into a stepping stone team. This is a risk when you go out and get these youngsters at that point of their career. Like, Haaland's going to make a switch. He's going to make another change and whatnot. Like, is he going to play for that team for the rest of his career? Probably not. Probably not. Like, it's just the way it is, unfortunately. It's a risk you run when you get these guys at that point in their career. Yeah. Are we a stepstone club? No, because we're not looking to just continually get these guys and sell them and focus on that. We still have objectives and targets that we want to hit. If we were constantly going out, okay, we're going to get this guy, we're going to sell him in 2 years. No, Juve's goal and intent has been well stated by everybody and well documented. They want to keep De Ligt around. What's in question? Everything that we all as Juventini have been questioning, and that's our project. We got to get our shit together. Otherwise, I don't even think we'd be talking about it. You think De Ligt would want to even lose if all of a sudden we were Champions League contenders year in, year out, if we were winning Scudetti and the project had a stable manager at it, like throughout these years, you think we'd be in this same situation? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think he'd be ready to start taking the armband and ready to lead this team if our project was a hell of a lot more stable.
Okay, I'll say this. The only thing I can learn from it is if you take De Ligt out of the equation, you're left with Quadrado, Bonucci, Sandro, Danilo, De Sciglio, and Rugani, which means we haven't progressed an inch since 2017, and it's almost 2023. And that's worrying for a project. Like De Ligt is the one we're banking on to carry this forward. If he's not there, it's the same stuff that it just didn't get us too far anywhere. We sold Cancelo, we sold Spinazzola, we had good players.
We're just jumping to a spot here, almost ignoring everything that led to that. We're still dealing with cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody forgets how well Demiral and De Ligt actually played together during that season. Everybody was happy Demiral left and whatnot. We had to make money. We had to sell him. It was all about the money. De Ligt and Demiral were actually great together under Pirlo. And he was supposed to be some guy that could step in. The injury scare, I get that and whatnot. But again, it's always been patchwork financially and losing guys. We're seeing the same this season if we're talking about McKennie. If we're talking about McKennie having to go when we know there's a guy that needs to go, otherwise we're still always trying to close this gap. There's a lot of reasons Agnelli wants the Super League to go through, and one of them is to help clean up that mess a hell of a lot quicker. Because Cherubini and Arriva Bene's job right now is ridiculously hard to try and get a balanced roster while cleaning up this shitstorm that they've been left. And it is a shitstorm. You've got a guy like Artur that's on a deal that like is tough to move. You've got Rabiot making $7 million, one of the highest earners on the team. You've got Sandro, who we can't get rid of for another year, $6 million. If you want to buy him out, it's actually 10. You have to buy Aaron Ramsey, who's coming back from the Rangers. Like, let's stop and think about all. Like, it's a lot. And
sacrifices got to be made somewhere.
Exactly,
and De Ligt is the one.
So,
if it's not De Ligt, it's going to be McKennie. Pick your poison, man.
Fine. I'm fine with it. Pogba's coming back. There are a lot more options out there for good midfielders, better than ours, than there are for De Ligt.
That's a good question. Who would you rather sacrifice? And I'm with Omer on that one. I'd rather sacrifice.
I would
McKennie
be too.
over
However, if De Ligt is already planning his escape route in 2 years, what's the difference? You know, yes, obviously we'll be strapped now, but we can still go sign someone to fill the void for the next year and then keep adding on that.
I think it's easier to sign a midfielder to fill the void than it is to sign a center back.
I disagree. It's harder to sign midfielders. They're more expensive.
I think it depends on what our options are. What are the options? Is Koulibaly a legit option? Like,
no.
Is he going to come? Would he come? It's all speculation and guessing, right? But I think totally I think it's the options. What are we filling it with, right?
Koulibaly is the only option.
Again,
he's the only one really available.
To Omar's point, and again, going back to the top when we were, talking about those other clubs that were involved in the final yesterday, contingency plans. Juve has failed miserably at contingency plans and using their resources because we've pissed away during that decade of dominance, pissed away Champions League resources on spendings shouldn't have been made. And our roster never reflected being one of the top earners for 10 years out of the Champions League. You should be able to go into a season without holes.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, if you're up there as one of the top clubs for Champions League earners over a period of 10 years, your roster should not have gaps and holes like that. There's no way. No way.
You get complacent.
And contingency plans, Omar's pointed it out just in defense. Go even further back to the midfield. We've just never had the next wave. We never planned properly for filling those voids and whatnot. And it was the Leminas and Hernandez. And you're like, come on, what are we doing? A lot of work to be done. So I don't blame De Ligt. We got some other Storm the Barns, get a couple last ones, and then we're just going to have our goodbyes here. And why don't you guys do more transfer market live streams? Why the hell not?
We will. Fine.
Why the hell not, Elias? The mask?
Okay, we will. You
Let's
want it,
do
we'll
it.
do it. That's fine.
All right.
When do you want it? When? We'll do it. Al?
Take it easy there, bud.
I'm tired. Exhausted.
Why? Why? Why not? Why the hell not? Okay.
Elias, why don't
It's gonna
you
have
do
to be
it?
weekends, maybe Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays. One of
We'll
those
do
days.
a midweek
start
one if
doing
it's
it.
big enough news, I think, Al. I think we can pop on midweek if there's something that
Yeah.
that
If we get
goes
big
off, we'll-
news too, whatnot. Otherwise, just a weekly little. We'll do that. RB comps with an AJC FIFA tournament. Oh yeah, Omer. I know Omer's in.
Oh, I
Cliff. Oh man, whoever draws Cliff is gonna get the easiest first round victory. He stinks. I
Oh,
play
you have
him.
no
I
idea.
roasted that kid.
You
Jesus.
have no idea.
So if you join the AJC FIFA tournament, yeah, let's do that. We can maybe put some striped hearts up for fun. Yeah.
Let's
do it.
remember Joe Cappuccino was once a ranked FIFA player in the US.
What?
Yep.
I was once
Only
ranked
on
as
his
Tony
city.
Hawk player.
And there was 10 players.
Oh,
And he was in the top 10.
It was the
He was in the
bathrobe
top
league. Bathrobe and Shades FIFA league of wherever
Just
the heck
saying.
Joe
Joe
Cappuccino resides.
Cappuccino might be
Omar?
pretty good.
Yeah, I was once in the top charts, like 4th place for Tony Hawk. The
Tony
skateboarding
Hawk. What a great game.
game worldwide.
That soundtrack, man. Oh,
Oh,
you kidding
brilliant.
me? What a
Brilliant.
soundtrack.
I just want to answer Jeremiah's question quickly before we finish up because I think we missed it.
Easy, Lex.
Sorry.
Hey,
Sorry.
hey,
I felt bad. I didn't want to miss
easy.
it.
I'm gonna
Yes,
put it down.
question.
I'll put it up.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Take it
you.
easy.
Okay. So just really quickly to answer your question. Thanks, by the way. So which player do we sign to fill in for Dybala's goals and performance, creativity? I think that I don't know if the answer is like one specific player. I think he did a lot for the team that took up the role of multiple players. So I would say probably a creative midfielder. And then if you are going with this 4-3-3 system, some type of winger to fill in that type of attacking and goal scoring and goal creation output that Dybala provided for our team. So I would say it definitely will take, I think, more than one player to replace him more or less. Or if Juve wants to go with the Raspadori profile, I think that would be a solid. I think he's still young right now, and I think that's like a really big shoes to fill to have him step in and be like the Dybala official replacement. But I think that he has a lot of similar characteristics, so I would be happy to get Raspadori
Or Dybala.
or Dybala
No.
again. Yeah, but that's your
Right
answer.
I don't think our problem is scoring. I think our problem is creating chances.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
filling that gap in with two players who are known for creating chances, more the scoring with Di Maria and Pogba. So
Yeah,
we
it's
might not need Dybala. Put Dusan there and give him the balls. You have your goals.
Yeah, it's a good answer.
Sadly, it's all a problem. The guys aren't burying the chances they are getting, and we're not creating enough of them.
Well,
Sadly, it's both.
You replace Raspadori with Keane and you'll score more goals.
Debatable.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Raspadori. I'd be fine with bringing Raspadori, and I
guy
just think he's
scores.
not like a true winger. And I think we're going to a 4-3-3 that's what all the reports seem to be. And I'm not so sure, but Sassuolo play 4-3-3, and Raspadori does just fine. So let's bring him in. This is my last question to all of you, okay, and everybody live. This is the last one. Dybala, Morata, and Keane out. Muriel, Raspadori, Di Maria in. Is that an upgrade? Would you be happy with that if that's what it ends up being for Juventus? That's our final question, and we'll kick this one off with Lex.
Wow. So wait, did Dybala, Keane, and Morata out, and Raspadori, Di Maria, and
Between goals and
Muriel.
Di Maria, Raspadori,
Muriel.
and Muriel.
Muriel.
So between goals and assists, Morata had 16. Dybala finished with 15. And Keane had 5 goals.
Who's replacing Berna?
That's a whole different podcast. That's a whole
Who
different
invited Berna into this?
Berna.
Gardner.
He's replacing Berna. He's already replaced
Berna.
Gatorade bottle on. Okay.
I don't know. I think only time will tell. I think looking at it right now, it feels like maybe I guess you got Keane and the one that's outgoing, but it kind of feels like either a bit of a downgrade or as a maybe an even shift. Like I don't know. I don't know if I would call it an upgrade for me, but
Kick her out.
I don't know. I think only time will tell.
So-
I really like Muriel.
So
though.
Lex is on the fence. He's a little uncertain. Anthony, is that an upgrade in your mind?
I think you almost have to go 1 for 1, but you can't even do
that's
that
the
because of
thing.
the goal outputs won't match. But what Pogba and Di Maria, did you even have Pogba in there?
No,
No.
You didn't.
only attackers.
Yeah, Muriel, Di Maria, and Raspadori in exchange for Dybala, Morata, Keane.
See, I think
Hard.
kind of going against what I just said against Lucci. I think Raspadori will bring you more than what Keane did, so that's an upgrade there. Muriel and Morata, just simple goal output. I thought Morata was playing better when Vlahovic came in, so I think that's sort of a loss. And then the other one is Di Maria and
Dybala.
Di Maria. Oh man, Dybala. That's a loss because I think Dybala creates more, but I think in the new system, I think Di Maria will thrive more in. So I'd call that one even. So I think overall, I think it'd be more even than people would think.
The Di Maria one's interesting though, because if
That's
we
a
go
tough one, though.
4-3-3, he might be stronger than having Dybala out there, and so it's tough. It's tough. I'm kind of right there. I think it's
like
even.
almost an even.
I don't think it's tipping the scale either way. I don't think it's a downgrade. I don't think it's really an upgrade. I think we're kind of even keel. Omar, what do you think?
Yeah, it's sort of an upgrade. Like I agree on Dybala, Di Maria. If the system is 4-3-3, Dybala might be more productive than Di Maria might be more productive than Dybala was. He's been around the block. He has a Champions League to his name. He knows how to rise on big occasions. You want to throw Bernardeschi, and he covered his stats in the final game of the season. So no problem there. He can replace both. Muriel is a funny one because Morata, I expected more from him. Like, on the field, if you compare attributes, Morata is better, but Muriel is just better as a sub, as a super sub. Has been for the past few years. So maybe if that's the role, if you need him to play, then he didn't do so well for Atalanta when Zapata was injured. And Raspadori for Keane, there's no question there. Absolute upgrade.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. You guys are nuts.
It's an upgrade.
You guys all said the exact same thing. First of all, how does Dybala play? First of all, half of the season. Let's not even touch on that. But he's not a right winger. Di Maria can play the wing. Muriel has a lot more pace, along with Di Maria, which is going to help Vlahovic, which will help Chiesa when he comes back. Raspadori is just already miles ahead of Keane, so that's not even. We don't have to touch on that.
Pacey.
Yeah, Muriel's all about the pace.
He shows up out of shape every year.
Yeah, so did Higuain, and he still scored how many goals?
Does. Everybody shows up out of shape.
Yeah, just like we saw on Twitter the other day.
No, dude, we're talking even mid-season still out of shape.
No,
Muriel.
I showed up out of shape for this.
You're out of shape every day. That doesn't matter. Anyway,
being out of shape doesn't matter.
No, for Anthony, it doesn't matter because he's married and doesn't do anything, so it doesn't matter.
Man. Keep going.
Speaking the truth.
What you threw me off now. I don't know what I was saying.
You said it was an upgrade.
I think it's an upgrade because, Muriel has proven time and time again he's a goal scorer in Serie A. And I'm not even a big Muriel supporter, to be completely honest with you, but he can score, he can play. Di Maria has done it everywhere he's gone. Maybe not Man United because, they're a disaster, so whatever. But Real Madrid, PSG, he's a great player. Yes, he's a little older, but for a year or two, I think it's a great signing. And Raspadori's one of the top talents in Italy. He's, he can score, he can assist. He's great with his feet. Yes, obviously he's not Dybala. Maybe he'll get better than Dybala. We don't know until we see more of him, right?
Yeah.
But come on,
so
Keane's not a loss.
The tough part about all that is that they're not 1 for 1, right? Really, Raspadori and Keane are really the only interchangeables. The other two comparisons are.
If you compare them as a trio, the trio overall, I think, is an upgrade, especially if you change to a 4-3-3.
Fair enough.
Well,
I
here's
agree
the
with that.
thing. It's like it's all a matter of opinion, whatnot, and it's not right or wrong. But here's why Lucci's wrong: is okay, Muriel to Morata. The one factor that is like something you can't measure. Morata, like he gives you 150 damn percent. The reason I bring up like out of shape and all this and stuff, Muriel, I wouldn't be sold on like Morata. I don't think that's an upgrade, man. I don't think that move is an upgrade. Raspadori Duquesne is an upgrade. Di Maria is basically a mercenary for hire, and that could go either way, man. He's looking for another payout and to stick around in Europe to hit that World Cup, right? That could be a big miss. It's not just guaranteed that he's going to come in and light
Or
it
he
up.
he could light it up, and because he wants to go to the World Cup.
But he's free, Al. That's the only
That
thing.
too.
He's free.
Yeah, but if he's asking 10 mil,
Wasn't it down to 7?
he's asking 9.5 or something last I heard.
I didn't hear that. But...
I didn't hear that either.
Yeah, it's like so 7 was when the deal was done. Okay, when it was done. Oh, 7 mil, he's signing. Yeah, that's 2 weeks ago, and now the latest reports are it's 9.5. That could go either way. Like I don't necessarily know. All of a sudden that changes my mind. Like, oh shit, we got a mercenary for hire, and you had Dybala there. I think it's even.
Chiesa's not coming back till 2023. So
yeah,
realistically, full
late.
Guns.
Yeah,
you need options. You need different options.
That's a tough one. But here's Jeremiah putting the absolute fear in me. My greatest fear is Max Allegri. Oh, that's the fear.
Yeah,
that's the fear. We'll see what happens though. Again, let's let Cherubini, Arriva Bene do their thing, and then see where the chips land, and then it's going to be up to Max. But so far, all over the place in this Mercato, and we haven't made a big signing yet, or any signing for that matter. Let's see what happens. Udogi's in the mix. Windal's still in the mix. We see Molina.
Lucci.
Pogba.
They're tied to everybody.
We see what happens.
Those guns out,
we see what happens. But anyways, great show. Look for the tweet on Twitter. We're going to put out some of the highlights, the photos, the vids. We'll put some together here, put it up shortly. You guys will have a good laugh at Omar's highlight reel there. Good stuff. And the panel, you guys are awesome. Lex, Ant, Lucci, Omer, thank you. Always an absolute
Pray for
pleasure.
Lou, wherever Lou is.
Sweet Lucifer. Oh, yeah. Tied one on. It's all good. It's all good. Let him have his fun. Everybody, quick reminder, like the video. As we mentioned earlier, we'll do some more lives throughout the offseason as well. We'll try and bring in our friend Mirko Di Natale as well. Okay. This was a season that, like I said, many of us want to forget. Hopefully next season we get back to the heights we want to achieve. We'll see. But the Omer show with the All Juve cast, there you go. Thank you as always, everybody. Absolute pleasure. If you're new here, subscribe. Your one-stop shop for everything Juve. We'll be keeping you up to date with the news videos, and we'll do more of these lives, especially if we get some big news. Hopefully there's that signing. They said they wanted to have a big signing by the end of May, early June. Let's see. That's this week coming up. Let's see if we can get a big signing. As always, fino alla fine, forza Juve. Ciao tutti.